Today I'm going to compare these two classic analog delay pedals. I'm going to quickly discuss the similarities, the differences, and I'll give you a few sound examples as well. Let's go! Hey, I hope you are well. I like pedals, pedals are fun, and delay is kind of a necessity in my opinion, but the way the world is these days, it's very rare that I'm ever going to be reaching for an analog style delay without a tap tempo, because I use mostly digital and everything has a clock mapped to it, and the delays are going to be in time and in sync to the songs that I'm playing. With that being said, you really cannot beat the sound of a true analog delay. There's just something rich, warm, and really fulfilling about the tone of these delays. So this one over here, the way huge Aqua Puss, I literally bought that because of the name and then did my research and found out about the pedal and realized it's actually quite a famous pedal. Good old John Mayer himself, he uses one of these all the time. And the Boss DM-2W, I love Boss pedals. I think they look great, so I had to get it. It's part of the collection. Now, the Buzzercraft pedals obviously feature the custom mode in them as well, so it's basically two pedals in one. Now, the standard mode and the Aqua Puss both feature 20 to 300 milliseconds of delay time, whereas the custom mode in the DM-2W has 800 milliseconds. The DM-2W is a bucket brigade style delay, whereas the Aqua Puss is a tape style delay. So already there's going to be some sonic differences just from the names, clearly. Now at maximum feedback, they both can produce that oscillating effect, which is really quite insane and a lot of fun to play with. But the cool thing about the DM-2W is that it has an expression pedal input and you can control the rate, so you can just touch that with your foot and you can make it go up and down. Unfortunately, you cannot do that on the Aqua Puss, and you do need workable knees in order to get down and tweak that one. So these style of delays, I personally feel like they should be either after your distortion and overdrive pedals going into a clean amp, or chuck them in your effects loop on your dirty amp. You don't want to put these in front of a dirty amp because they're already pretty full on delays, and each delay is just going to be pushed harder and harder if they're going into distortion. So the Aqua Puss is a simple mono pedal. You've got input, output, whereas the DM-2W has a stereo option, but it doesn't have stereo delay. You can send your guitar one side and the delay the other way, so you can have like a wet dry sort of thing. All right, I'm using my GT1000. I have the natural amp loaded up for some nice clean tones. I got my Slash Anaconda Burst, which just broke a little bit. Turns out I now need a new stand. Check your stands, guys, because that happens to guitars. Clean tone. So I have each pedal in their own effects loop, and I've got a button here I'm going to press. I'm going to swap between the two, and they're on their own line, so they're not going to be interfering with one another. Let's get going. First one is the DM-2W. So there, everything is at 12 o'clock and already the settings are completely different. The tone is completely different. This one is way brighter and it's kind of jangly and sort of sparkly, whereas this is really warm and really dark. And I actually think it really colors the guitar tone as well. I don't know if you think you can hear that. That's enough clean. I think it's time to go heavy. All right, now I'm going to do some dirty tones. I've moved these, so these are post amp for the distortion. So now the custom mode on the DM-2W, haven't touched any of the settings. Already we have a ton more delay on it. So that's that oscillating effect there that I was talking about. It is fun, it is wacky, it sounds cool. So as you can hear, guys, they are two very, very different sounding delays. So what you could do is combine them both and have two different sounds at the same time. So I'm going to move things around. So I've got the Aqua Puss still in front of the amp. with that slapback delay, and I've got the DM-2W post amp sounding like this. Digital modeling is pretty damn good, and you can have more or less anything you want these days, but in my opinion, there's just something about these, you just can't beat them. I'd love to hear your opinions. Which one do you like? Which one do you have? Which one do you use? Make a comment, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. See you next time.